Greetings, everyone. This is the Alternative Guy,
And I am the Alternative Gal.
and we're back here again with another video. This video is going to be a continuation of a video that I did earlier about sugar. On that video, I talked about sugar and I talked about MSG. But today we're going to deal basically with sugar, because some kind of way, I'm not sure whether the message is getting clear, because we have so many people that we know that are struggling with diabetes and heart disease and a whole slew of ailments, and most of them are centered around sugar. And we, as humans, one thing we need to understand, that we're being dealt with through the food industry and the medical industry based on taste. And if we don't understand that our taste buds can be our friends or our foes. And we're gonna touch on a few things today to take it a little bit further, because all diseases really start in the gut, and we need to understand that there are scientists that formulate a lot of these menus and additives that we put in our foods. So what we're going to do, we're going to touch on some of those today. So what I'm going to do to start off,
And while he's looking at some of the things that he wants to mention, we have to say up front that a lot of the things, our tendencies when it comes to eating, has been put on us because we live in a microwave society. We want our meals to be quickly prepared, and if they're not quickly prepared, we want to go through a drive-through. And that's the fault. Years ago, there was no hesitation in planting gardens. There was no hesitation in harvesting from your garden. But now, it's almost rarely seen. A lot of us are going back to the natural way of doing things. And believe you me, the natural way is the best way. Eating from Mother Earth, not having foods that have been processed and prepared. We have to unwrap it. We have to unthaw it. We have to go back to nature and receive what the earth can give us. I just had to say that.
well, my wife mentioned about Mother Nature, but we can't overlook the fact that years ago, our mothers and our grandmothers prepared all of the food that we ate, basically, almost everything we ate. So now we're living in a society that everything that we buy from the stores are processed, and they have labels on them. And I don't think that most of us read labels, and that's where they get us. So I'm going to read. Then we're talking about sugar, so I'm going to read some of the different names that sugar could be called.
And this is what you need to look at when you go to the store. It's not going to always have SUGAR. There are other pseudo-names that sugar is printed under. So this is what he's going to give you.
Okay. And another thing before I mention those names, if we notice that anything that we want to make taste better, then you can put some sugar on it, no matter what it is. I mean, if you want it to taste better, you put sugar on it. So here's some of the names, the hidden names that you'll find in products. And by the way, sugar is in almost everything. Everything. So if you read a label and it has dextrose, that's sugar. Sucrose, glucose, high fructose corn syrup. These are ingredients slowly entering into our gut and enter into our liver, and it overloads and increases fat that heads out to the blood. Cholesterol levels increase. So I'm gonna just kind of like leave it there, and my wife is gonna deal with some other things. But we want to make sure that we understand that sugar, our bodies need sugar, but it doesn't need table sugar. You know, you can get sugar from fruit, you can get sugar from vegetables. There's many ways that we can get sugar, but we're being bombarded with the food industry putting sugar in everything, and then we wonder why we have so much diabetes. And that's a problem. And it really bothers us to know that, because we've been studying and doing research on sugar for years, and it appears that the situation is getting even worse. So we just want to talk to you because we're concerned, and we're not doctors, we're not scientists, we're researchers, and we just want to share the information that we find. So I'm going to turn it over to my wife now.
And the sad thing is, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, they clearance sugar and all other additives being put in our food. They're allowing food processors to use the sugar, and everything has to go through FDA in order to be certified and put on shelves. And when he mentioned glucose, sucrose, fructose, and corn syrup, all of those sugars increase your glycemic level to 65. 65. You can have substitutes, and keep in mind these. As he mentioned, you can also get natural sugars from fruit, but there are also manufactured sugar alcohols, sorbitol, xylitol, maltitol, and erythritol. Now, those are sugar alcohols. They're not as potent and detrimental as straight-up white table sugar. But these sugars are made from birch trees, monk fruit, and other things. They're not the best, but they are a pathway to getting off the hardcore sugar that you get in the bags at the grocery store. And they only have an index level, glycemic index level of 7. Now just compare the difference. White sugar, glycemic index level of 65. The sugar alcohols, sorbitol, erythritol, xylitol, and maltitol only have a glycemic index level of 7. So what does that make you think? I need to throw away the bag of white sugar and at least look at ingredients that have the sugar alcohols. And it's a step forward to making the intake better. What seems to be an innocent pleasure causes so many issues. There's no safe amount of processed or refined sugar. No safe amount. Naturally contained sugars in fruit and vegetables are balanced. Why are they balanced? They're balanced because they have fiber, vitamins, and enzymes, and other properties that slow down the digestion of sugar that causes us to consume a detrimental rate. What does sugar do? What does that spoonful of sugar do? It stresses the liver. It increases cholesterol and triglycerides. It causes, number one, weight gain. It causes craving. It's addictive. It causes the pleasure area of the brain to be activated. It doesn't fill you up, but it makes you want more. Sugar causes muscle and joint pain. I have never in my life seen such an increase in people having problems with joint and muscle pain. And it's a known scientific fact that sugar causes muscle and joint pain. Too much sugar causes the cells to secrete inflammation, which causes pain, arthritis, cataracts, heart disease, and poor memory. Craving food, like I said, it causes you to crave more and more and more. Our bodies develop a dependency on sugar. The more you eat, the more you want. It releases dopamine into the brain's pleasure center, and it gives you the sense of reward or treat. Foods high in sugar don't make you feel full, they make you feel hungry. Now,
let me just add
okay,
this. So I want to ask the question: how many of us know somebody that's a diabetic? How many of us know somebody that has had a leg amputated or a toe amputated or some type of amputation because of by them being a diabetic? Just think about it. How many of us know somebody that have been affected by sugar in that way? I don't know about you, but I know several people. And we need to think about that. It's not by accident that this has happened. So I'm sorry, you can go back.
Okay, and we have to say, I love my family. I love my friends. I love my associates. We have to take back our power to be healthy. We have to not wait for the doctor to tell us we need this, we need that. Because believe you me, and I hate to say it, and we stated up front, we're not doctors, we're not pharmacists, we're not naturopaths, but the medicines that the doctors are giving you cause something else to take place, cause something else to happen. So let's take back our power. We must take back our power. Have you ever gone someplace, anywhere in locations, locales, towns, cities, And it boggles my mind, the lines that I see, especially at Chick-fil-A. Now let me give you, and you can look online yourself, just Google Chick-fil-A, Google Popeye, Google McDonald's, and it will tell you the ingredients. That one sandwich that you buy from Chick-fil-A has 55 ingredients. One sandwich has 55 ingredients. Let's look at this. If you go to the ingredients in the sandwich, it says, or it states that it has 41 grams of carbohydrate. 5 grams of carbohydrate equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. 5 grams equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now, if that Chick-fil-A sandwich has 41 grams of carbohydrate, you're getting approximately 7.5 teaspoons of sugar in that one sandwich. Now, this is not coming from me. This comes from research, finding out the correlation between carbohydrates and sugar. And that's just for the sandwich. You're not talking about how much sugar is in the ketchup. You're not talking about how much sugar is in the tea that you get. That's just one sandwich. And I have to say this. Why lines in the morning when people are getting ready to go to work? You see lines wrapped around the building at lunchtime, and you see lines wrapped around the building at dinner time. Do you know why? Because Chick-fil-A has added in its food, its sandwiches, MSG, which is monosodium glutamate. What is monosodium glutamate? It is fermented cane sugar. Monosodium glutamate is fermented cane sugar. So on top of those 41 grams of carbohydrate, you have MSG. And what does MSG do? MSG is a powerful taste enhancer that activates the pleasure center of the brain. And just like we said, sugar was addictive, that MSG causes you to want to go back for more, because it's giving that brain, it activates the pleasure, the reward, the treat in the brain. So that is driving you to want to drive back to Chick-fil-A to get more sandwiches. Popeye sandwich. The Popeye sandwich has 50 grams of carbohydrate, keeping in mind that 5 grams of carbohydrate equals to 1 teaspoon of sugar. Therefore, the Popeye sandwich has 50 grams of carbohydrate, which equals to 10 teaspoons of sugar. Can't forget McDonald's. McDonald's sandwich has 33 grams of carbohydrate, which equals to 6 plus teaspoons of sugar. A 4-piece McNugget, McDonald's McNugget, has 10 grams. When you give your little ones a 4-piece box of McNuggets, you're giving them 2 teaspoons of sugar at a sitting. The 10-piece McNugget has 26 grams of carbohydrate, which equals to 5 teaspoons of sugar. Just imagine, if you use sugar go home and put in a little container or on the table 5 teaspoons of sugar and see what you're giving your little innocent child when they sit down and ask you for chicken McNuggets. We must take our well-being back into our hands. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And I know if you're working parents, I know it's hard. You're tired, you want to go home and you want to relax. Pay now or pay later. Our young children are now becoming obese. Our young children are now becoming diabetics. We don't want that for them. We want them to have a better life than we did. So we have to be teachers of the best way to live our lives. We have to.
And we want to say that we're doing this video out of concern. And we know that everybody has the right to eat whatever they want to eat.
Yes, you do.
But we just wanted to share this information. And can we share with them some alternatives to sugar?
Mm-hmm. We can.
And alternatives to MSG?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let's do that.
Okay, so what we use is stevia, stevia, stevia extract. Now, you can get stevia in its natural form, which is green. You can even grow your own stevia plant. Grow it, dry the leaves, and grind it. It has a very potent flavor.
It's not as sweet as sugar.
Right.
But if you get the extract is
300 times.
300 times sweeter than sugar.
Right.
And it don't spike your blood sugar.
It doesn't. Even diabetics can use stevia.
Right.
It's scientific research that states that stevia does not spike the glycemic level. Now, if you use too much of the stevia, there is an aftertaste. They put a little tiny spoon in the container, and the best way to start off using it is to start off with one little scoop of that stevia in whatever you're using. Say, for example, if you're a tea drinker, if you're a coffee drinker, and we're going to do videos on healthy alternatives to coffee too. But start off with a little tiny scoop, one scoop, and you have to determine how much you want to use. You can't just shake it, because if you shake that container, you might get too much, and then you'll be, oh, no, I don't like that, I don't like that. But you have to start off with small levels of. Now, stevia has become very famous on the market, so much so that when you go into the grocery stores, you have all different kinds of stevia. Stevia with fructose, stevia with glucose, stevia with erythritol. But you want the plain stevia extract with nothing else in it. And we get ours from the health food stores. Okay?
Okay. And
MSG. MSG.
Do you have another sugar?
Yes,
other than stevia?
You can use coconut sugar. That's much better than the regular table sugar. And you can use monk fruit, MONKFRUIT. A lot of people use honey. A lot of people use agave. That's a step up from sugar. It's not the best, but it's a step up. We have to progressively change what we're doing. It doesn't have to be cold turkey. The main thing is stop using the white sugar, that table sugar. Stop using it. And if you want to go to agave, if you want to go to honey, use raw honey, because honey is processed too. You want to use the honey that comes from the bee farm, And it's best always to use local honey. When you go to the grocery store, look to find raw honey local, from local bee producers. And like I said, you can get the monk fruit and you can get the coconut sugar. Those are steps up from the regular sugar that has been on the market for centuries. So it takes time to move, to elevate, but the main thing is to start the movement. You have to start the movement. And if you don't start the movement, then you're going to constantly be feeling not your best. You want to always be your best self.
Okay, so I think we're going to end this video now, and we want to thank you again for taking the time out to watch this video. We hope that we didn't rant too much, but we're really concerned about the condition of our people, because there's a lot of things that's happening now, and it seems like it has really escalated. So continue to watch our videos, and we're going to do more videos on health. I said earlier in some of my videos that my two main passions is history and health. So we're going to continue to do these videos, and we would like for you to subscribe if you haven't, and we'd like for you to give it a thumbs up if you found something beneficial in this video, and share it with your friends and your relatives, because we want to continue to do videos like this. And you can support us on this channel, and we also have a Patreon page. We're the Alternative Guy and the Alternative Gal, and we have our link in the description below.
And again, please, we don't want to ever come off as know-it-alls. We don't want to come off as being or presenting ourselves in a hostile way. We just know that health care is self-care. You have to take back your power of taking care of yourself. You have to do research. It's not about what tastes good all the time. It's about what's good for you. So that's where we are.
And just to add to that, I know many adults that they say, I hate water. I don't drink water. I drink sodas. And why is that? Because sodas are sweet, and they have a taste.
They taste good.
They taste good, and they forget all about water. So let's just keep that in mind. Thanks again for watching. All right, peace.
Peace, love, and wellness.